Hello everybody, back again. Okay, so today I really wanted to talk about something that I think is very, very prevalent right now, and that's anxiety. Everyone I talk to seems to be struggling with some kind of anxiety happening inside their body. So first of all, we're going to break this up into a few parts because this is probably going to be a long conversation, and so I'm going to do it in a certain amount of parts. So we'll try and keep them fairly short, and then you can just bite-size them. What is anxiety? Now, I think we call it this word anxiety, but actually, what is anxiety for you? What does it feel like for you? How does it manifest inside your body? I know for me, I was very anxious, debilitatingly so. The anxiety really ran the show a lot of times. It would really get in the way of me kind of experiencing things I perhaps wanted to experience, but I was too afraid. And so, if I talk about my own experiences of anxiety, it might help you relate. Because I do think we all feel it differently. So, it's important to what does anxiety feel like for you? Where does it happen inside your body? When does it happen? Is it there all the time, underlying, or does it come up really strong? And there's levels. If we talk about 1 being not at all, 10 being anxious all the time, I think you'll find that your anxiety comes, at levels, and you could rate it. So right now, my anxiety is nothing. I don't feel any anxiety. And I do not struggle with anxiety hardly at all. Obviously, there's moments when we're all, like if we're performing in public, that's a big one for a lot of people. But even then, I actually don't seem to struggle with anxiety, not like I would have done at one time. And that is because I've actually learned to heal, manage, call it whatever you want to do with it, not allow the anxiety to run the show. Now, obviously, I was brought up with a post-war parent who always looked competent and capable and hardworking, just a resilient woman. She never really looked anxious to me because she never, sometimes anxiety can manifest in, shaking and, looking a bit fearful, but my mum never looked like that. She always looked capable and competent, and she was. But underneath, she really did struggle with anxiety in a way that I don't think I ever realised because I could never see it. And so I kind of grew up the same, looking very competent, capable on the outside. And inside, there was this terrified little girl going, oh my God, like fearful, afraid, worried, anxious. And so I had to come to terms with that. And it wasn't till I started, way back when I started to learn about different theories and therapies, that actually my anxiety was just a normal emotional response to a certain degree. It was there, and it's what I did with it and how I related to it that was the most important thing. You see, I was brought up with a foundation where I didn't feel safe inside my own body. We talked about this. The first 7 years is when you've been brainwashed, programmed, and, conditioned to believe certain things. Well, in those first 7 years, I got the idea that I wasn't enough. I wasn't lovable. I wasn't capable. I wasn't competent. I was stupid or ugly or, and no one actually said that to me. This is the conclusion I came to because of what happened growing up. And back in the day, don't forget, seen and not heard. So I'm just going to keep an eye on the time here. Seen and not heard. No one seemed to take a lot of notice because as kids you weren't. I mean, that's how we were all treated to a certain degree, like we were unimportant. You did as you were told. You didn't, speak until spoken to. You weren't really considered that important in the scheme of things. So you didn't get a lot of attention or even affection sometimes, or you weren't allowed to be who you were. So if you're angry, no, don't dare be angry. So a lot of that happens in those first 7 years. So I grow up thinking I'm not okay, I'm not safe, my feelings aren't safe. And I need to repress, deny, and avoid them at all costs, and certainly don't express them in any way, shape, or form. And so this is what we've got to look at. And I realized as I did my studies and I grew as a person, my foundation wasn't solid, wasn't grounded. It wasn't stable. So if anything went wrong, oh my goodness, fear, 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 fear. I grew up terrified. I was so afraid. I remember in the middle of the night, I'd wake up, and I think I understand panic attacks, and it was like a panic attack. I wouldn't have said it at the time because I didn't really understand it then. But as a young mother, I would wake up generally in the middle of the night, and that's when all your defense mechanisms go down and all the crap comes up, the fears, the emotions that you won't allow yourself to feel in the daytime because you've learned to repress, deny, and avoid. Well, at night, and this is why a lot of people will wake up and all of a sudden have a panic attack. That's because the emotions come up, and it's like we haven't got the wherewithal to kind of repress, deny, and avoid it. So I would wake up in the middle of the night absolutely terrified, and so terrified in fact that I was frozen, literally frozen. It's the only time I can remember actually ever feeling that terrified, in the middle of the night when you haven't got your wits about you and you're tired and you haven't really got the ability to rein in some of those thoughts. It's like your whole body's just, and I would go into a freeze place, and it was always fear and worry about something bad happening to my 3 little kids. And so that's how it manifested, because if you don't deal with it, it just gets bigger and bigger. It grows in the darkness, so to speak. And because I'd had this role model that always seemed competent and capable, I'd never seen her or heard her talk about her anxiety. I don't even think she knew she was anxious until many years later, that she could actually verbalize it and understand herself enough. And let's face it, we're all a lot more unconscious then. Think about today, these young people are so much more aware that they are struggling with anxiety. I mean, I think we were then. I just don't think we were allowed. It was like it was beyond our conscious ability to connect with it, whereas now we are a lot more conscious as a humanity, and so back then we didn't even really know what it was. So how could we put words to it and express it and process it? We just got on with things. And so anxiety is something that left unchecked will, I think, just grow. Like a lot of things, it just grows in the darkness. It's like anything that is addiction. It gets to the point where you think you've got a handle on it, but you haven't really, and now it's completely running the show. Your anxiety is stopping you from walking out the door, and this is a trouble. And I say to people in the beginning, when it's just maybe like anything, like OCD, like any addiction, in the beginning stages, it's a lot easier to manage that, but left unchecked, it will just get bigger, more intense, more ritualized in your own thinking, more embedded in your pattern, in your psychic body, and so it becomes harder to deal with. And so, not impossible by any means. I mean, I'm living proof that you can overcome anxiety and lead a great, wonderful, fulfilled life where that anxiety is certainly not running my show, and it's actually not even present in my being. Occasionally, but hardly at all. And so anxiety is something that you can overcome, you can work through. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to let the anxiety run the show. I want me to run the show, my desires, my wishes, my dreams. And anxiety, fear, call it whatever you want. I don't want it to get in the way of me doing and being who I actually really want to be and what I want to do. So I have really committed to not allowing that anxiety or fear, whatever you want to call it, I think we call it different things, to get in the way. Just like, if you're born and you haven't got a full grown arm, it's the same kind of thing as, am I going to let this get in my way? Now, some people, oh, well, like, that's it, I'm an invalid, I'm disabled, I can't possibly function normally. And then you see people, just the other day on the telly, climbing across a rope above a cavern in survival, one of those survival things, and she was only born with half an arm. And I'm like, wow, that has not stopped her from living her life. What's the guy that actually hasn't got any arms and legs, and he's out touring and giving talks on how he didn't let it get in the way of living his life? And if I think about that, oh my goodness, like to live without an arms and legs, and wow, that's incredible. I mean, they're so inspiring, these people. And so I want to help people not live a small life. I want them to live their own life and do what they want. Go out when they want, be with whoever they want, live life on their terms and not their anxiety. So anyway, we'll have to finish there. I will pick this up again and we will continue to talk about anxiety, because we've just talked about how it gets in the way, what it does, and how it is obviously part of your foundation of whatever you went through back then. And we have to change the foundation that your body mind sits on if we want to create a space where you can feel safe inside your own skin, because anxiety is feeling unsafe in your own body, unsafe in your own skin. And a lot of people don't realise that they don't have to live that way. But the question I'm going to leave you with, and you're probably not going to like it, I want you to ask yourself, and just be aware of how you feel when you hear this question, because that will be quite telling, I think. How is anxiety working for you? How is anxiety working for you? Now, if you have a reaction to that, just be curious about it. Don't let that reaction spill out. Just hold it gently and tenderly and go, okay, so what's going on inside of me? Why do you think, what happened to me? Why was I so reactive? Why did I want to push that statement back and go, well, how dare you tell me that, in some regard, this anxiety might be working for you? But actually, it's an important question to ask yourself. So I want you to ask yourself, how is this anxiety working for me? And I will see you next time. Take care. Bye for now.